Good evening, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. This is Liam, aka kickbuttkiwi, here with the Spec Esports PlayStation Pacific Open Series. Second race of the season tonight, as we can see, still in the lobby. So I believe we are waiting for the 20th and final driver before we get going. So bear with me for a few moments and we will be starting qualifying, it looks like very, very soon. Alright, looks like qualifying is about to get going. Great to have you along with us tonight, all two of you. Hopefully that increases a little bit as the evening goes on. So as I mentioned before, this is round 2 of the new season of the Spec Esports Pacific Open Series, Tier 2. There are 2 tiers in the Open Series this season, and this is the second of the 2. However, that is not to say that there aren't some very quick and capable drivers in this tier, and we saw some awesome racing last week. So it'll be interesting to see how the second race of the season pans out. We can see that it looks like it's dry, although that can of course change pretty quickly. We'll see who's first hit out on track for this one. It looks like a McLaren. I'm going to guess that is Sir Hawker based on nothing at all, and it is. So Sir Hawker will go out first. We'll ride on board with him, see what he does on his outlap once I can figure out the menu. Do bear with me while I figure all of this out. It's just me commentating at the moment. There may be Artie Cheng's joining us at his leisure. Word on the street is that he took a nap shortly before the race, which is extremely professional. I'd expect nothing less from him. But yeah, in the meantime, it's just yours truly, kickbuttkiwi, talking you through the early stages of qualifying as we ride on board with Sir Hawker. I can see that most of the field are on outlaps currently. A few people on mediums, which is interesting. Sir Hawker is one of the majority on softs. I'll turn all of this nonsense on. And we'll see what happens. So just for a bit of context, we'll go through the results from the first Grand Prix last week in Portugal as we continue to ride on board with Sir Hawker, probably through his first flying lap. So, oh, and Sir Hawker has probably binned it, and he's retired. Well, that is not how you want to start your second weekend. That is a complete disaster for the McLaren man, and I believe he had a pretty poor first race, so things are not going well for him. Someone for whom the first race was rather successful was Future Dreamliner. Future Dreamliner took pole last week and won the race, the Williams driver. He won by 5 seconds from Combat Wombat in the half. Where's old Combat? There he is there. Combat started P9 in the last race and managed to get up to P2, so an awesome effort from him. P3 in the last race was Shockwave in the Red Bull. He started P2, dropped to P3 in the end. Other notable performances from that race, Dan the Racer in the, what is that, an Alpine. He finished P7 last week, started P14. Someone crashed out last week. I believe it was Jackie Perez had an incident midway through the race or something like that, near the beginning of the lap. He had a wee collision with, might have been Shockwave, and I believe Jackie crashed out of the race from a really good position. He was looking strong for at least a podium, and I believe he crashed out and DNF'd, so he'll be one who's looking to pull back a better result this time around. He'll be hungry, he'll be determined, but he won't want to DNF 2 races in a row. So keep an eye on him. Future Dreamliner, our winner from last week, and the other podium getters were Combat Wombat and Shockwave. Goodwill has set our first flying lap, promptly beaten by a small margin by Dan the Racer. And Shockwave nestles in between them, so 3 very similar times here. Very early days, as Braden destroys everybody, goes 8 tenths quicker in the mid 32s. I have no idea what a quick time is here. This Stovey goes P2. So, oh goodness, someone's calls yellows. I see Altonki is, oh gosh, Altonki I believe has binned it in the middle sector, and oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. I don't know who to go on board with. But Altonki has binned it as well, and we're only a few minutes into quali. Well, well, well. That is not ideal for those guys. Altonki finished P10 last week from a P17 quali position, so he's familiar with qualifying further down and working his way forward, so it's not all over for him. But yeah, not the ideal start either. Good one on a hot lap. It looks like Combat's possibly going for another one. We'll stick with him, see what he can do. He's got a bit of traffic here, which is far from ideal. Yellow flags for 3. I think that's just slow cars as the other drivers get nicely out of the way for the half lap. More yellows. Oh, there's an Aston Martin who's done something not wonderful, and that is broken Reptile in the Aston. Where did he finish last week? Not in the top 14 from my hastily organised screenshots, so if he raced last week he didn't get a great result. Go back to, where is it, Combat. Let's see if he can improve on his 32.8. No, you bought that, he's had enough. In the meantime, Shockwave has gone P1. He's definitely a contender, and he's done a 32.3, albeit on 2 hot laps, it appears, on those softs. So good start, good early signs for the Red Bull man, who finished 3rd last week, so definitely a contender, I would say. Hello to Honest Crook in the chat. He should be qualifying, but he's in the chat. Says a lot about him. But he'll probably do what he usually does, which is come out with about 2 minutes to go and qualify in the front row. Yeah. Right, so who is on track currently? Dan the race is going slow. Shockwave is also going slow. He's not activating DRS, which suggests he's not up to much. Anyone on a quick lap? Reptile looks like he's pushing, although he's possibly butchered that corner slightly. So most cars are back into the pits after setting their early run. So the order as we stand is Shockwave P1, Braden P2, Stoby P3, Jackie Prez P4, Combat P5. Keep an eye on Future Dreamliner, the race winner from last time out. He's only done laps on medium so far, but you can expect him to be in the mix. He's just lurking down there at P12. Not really bothering anyone, but I would be very, very surprised if he didn't make an appearance at the top of the timesheets come the end of this session. Quick mention to any new drivers racing tonight. I believe Nozza Seddon in the Alpha and P19. I don't think he raced last week, so he's a bit of an unknown quantity. We've got Honest Crook, who's been mentioned already in P16 in the pass, in the pits. I've been informed that he's having a smoke currently. He's got a decent amount of pace, so keep an eye on him at the end of quali. His race performance is sometimes leave a little bit to be desired, but he's definitely got some pace, so he could be in the mix, you never know. So various drivers now on their outlaps. Okay, so there's an Alpine or someone off in the 3rd sector, and it's Dan the Racer, who I think might have been, is he on the top lap? To be honest, I completely lose track, no pun intended, of what's going on during quali. It's better when I have a second commentator. When I'm on my own, it's just, there's no hope. So I do apologise for getting confused and muddled at every opportunity. Broke Vegan in the chat says go Combat. Combat's certainly a driver to watch and someone who I would expect will be in the mix tonight. Who are we going to watch, people? Broken Reptile, I think, has just gone P7 in the Aston on mediums. He's 2 seconds off the pace. Is it 2 seconds or 1? Sorry, 1 second off the pace. Support for Nozza Seddon in the chat from Fortnite Clips. We're right on board with a couple of these guys further up the field. Maybe Shockwave now, he's the furthest in front, I think. Shockwave's out on medium, so I'd be surprised if he could improve. If he could improve on that time, on the medium tyres, I think he'd be wanting to start on those, but yeah, I think he's going to struggle because his time looks pretty competitive and the mediums will be, I'm not sure of the delta, but probably at least half a second slower. It seems to be the minimum amount that they're down on the softs, so maybe he's just getting some recce done, seeing what they feel like for the race, but he won't want to burn through them either because you never know. I think you get maybe 2 sets of mediums available for the race, so you won't want to absolutely burn through one of them. It doesn't look like he's going massively fast. In fact, he's coasting through that long right-hander. Jackie Prez coming through. He's got him. Who's out in front of him? Is it Benchwarmer in front of him? It is. Benchwarmer may or may not be on a lap at the moment. See what he can do. He's on fresh softs, P11 currently, and 1.1 off pole, provisional pole. Coming down the back straight into the huge braking zone, the right hand hairpin nails the apex. I'm going to get that power down as early as possible, and then this tricky final left-hander. Looks like it's a conservative approach from Benchwarmer. What can he do? P11 up to P7. Okay, decent progress. Like shockwaves into the pits on those mediums. Asher in the McLaren goes P7. Decent time from him. I'll just check where he finished last week. I think he had a rough race. He finished well down the order, lower than P14 anyway, so yeah, not ideal for him. Someone has, is that on the, oh boy, that's on the script. Is it? No. Someone in a white looking car had a moment. Goodness knows who. Combat? It might have been Combat. Dreamliner P6 for Williams. Still 4/10 off, which is interesting. Maybe it's not a strong track for him, or maybe he just hasn't put a lap together yet. To be fair, it's quite a technical track, China. So I would not be surprised if he's just not quite managed to string the 3 sectors together. Time's ticking down now. We're less than 5 minutes away from the checkered flag in quali as Dreamliner. This is not WRC10. Dreamliner, you need to keep it on the black stuff. He's getting some cars past. That's very noble. Honest Crook, meanwhile, in traditional fashion, has left it late, but he's P5, so you can see he has pace. He's a reserve driver for this league, not a full-timer, so he didn't race last week. I don't think he was available rather than not being chosen. But he'll be looking to make an impression early on here. I'll check back in with him shortly. Dreamliner's not on a lap. Combat looks like he might be. So keep an eye on the 2 pass drivers for now. See if we can get a look at Crookie's delta. He's over a 10th up, which would put him provisionally in the region of P3. Got a bit of traffic in the final sector here. Dreamliner's getting out of the way, and Honest Crook's trying to abuse the slipstream down the back straight. He'll get the DRS open, and Dreamliner giving him a tow here. Interesting tactic. He's got to get out of the way, Dreamliner. Oh goodness me, and he's not really. Oh, that's a little bit naughty. I feel he could have backed off more, the Williams man. And okay, Crook's on an in-lap and just burning his tyres. We'll go back to Combat. Just going through that right-hand hairpin, and he looks like he's backed out. Will he go for another lap? He's got heaps of DRS. Nope, he's had enough as well, so he'll pop back into the pits and I assume come back for softs, for a quick run on softs, however long we've got. It's not long to go. Yellow's all over the track, but I think it's people just going slow, warming their tyres or waiting for traffic. Ash is in a yellow flag sector. He's on 2 lap old softs, so I think he might be coming back in. Shockwave, I believe, is on an outlap, so he'll just try to get a bit of temperature into those tyres, but not accumulate too much wear, and he will look to go presumably for one final flying lap to see if he can push that quickest time down a little bit further. And it's important that you don't rest on your laurels, even if you're P1. Drivers often improve at the very end of quali. I've experienced that myself, where I've been in a good position, retired early thinking I've done a great lap, and then I get knocked down the order repeatedly. A few times I've just moved in the top of the timesheet, which I missed. Quality commentary work there, if I do say so myself. So Shockwave comes through. Was he on a hot lap? Okay, maybe he's on a hot lap this whole time. That's embarrassing. Is he going to improve? I think he did. Did he? I have no idea what's going on. That looked like it said 4/10 quicker. Who knows? Shockwave anyway leads from Jackie Perez and Stobie now in P3. Stobie's out on mediums, which is again an interesting strategic call. 1 minute to go in quali. Riding on board with Jackie here. Can he improve? Oh, he's 2/10 up. Here we go. We'll follow the Alpine man through the final sector. Can he keep it clean? Can he get a clean exit? Run through this long right-hander down the back straight. It's crucial for your lap time. You might get a little tow from AlphaTauri, potentially. It is Braden. Braden looks like he's possibly had enough of quali for now, or trying to sneak in a late lap. A little bit deep, possibly under brakes. Clarence goes P1 in the Alpha, I believe. Where does that come from? Final corner anyway for Jackie. Can he topple the Alpha man? And he does. Oh my goodness, he's improved by 3/10. Jackie Perez is on a mission after last week. I would say weekend, but it was no, it wasn't a weekend, it was a Sunday. There we go. Clarence came from nowhere. I believe he's done, so he'll be P2 at best, but a great qualifying from him. Shockwave's done as well. Stobie, what can he do? He's on mediums and he's going slowly. Dan the Race is retired in the pits from P7. I don't know what Stobie's up to. He's not going quick. 26 seconds off his best there, so interesting strat. Braden's slow. Honest Crook is done. P6 for him. So the Haas drivers both looking in the top 10. Is there anyone still to finish a lap? Glorious Noodles. I think he's about level with his PB. A couple of bites at the apex. Coming to the final corner. Can he improve on P14? And he does. He improves to P10. So 4 positions. However, you kind of want to be P11 if you're P10, because old Combat Wombat's now going to get free tyre choice. And China the track, as someone else improves, who's gone, is it Goodwill? He's gone P5? Or Broken Reptile has gone P2, wow. And he's almost pipped Jackie for P1. Broken Reptile has come from absolutely nowhere to do that. So a couple of surprises there is, oh goodness, times are still changing up the top. I don't think anything major has happened. But I think that's us done for quali. So Jackie Perez sticks it on pole, his first pole of the season. I think he might have qualified P4 last time, so great showing from him. Broken Reptile, if he raced last week he wasn't looking strong, but he has put it on P2, so watch the Aston man. Clarence in the Alpha P3, superb performance from him as well. I believe he's another driver well down the order in Portugal. Then we've got Shockwave and Braden, who were both up there last week. So an interesting mix here of drivers who you'd expect to be up there and a few that you would not expect based on the sample size of one race. But yeah, Jackie Perez in the Alpine pole position from Broken Reptile and Clarence. Future Dreamliner all the way down in P10, the man who took pole and the victory last week. Only 6 tenths off, so his pace isn't a million miles away. Maybe he just didn't string a lap together. He'll be a bit frustrated with that, and frustrated that he's not in P11. Keep an eye on Combat Wombat is my tip to be a bit of a dark horse here, maybe with a slightly alternative strategy at a track where tyre wear is notoriously difficult. But yeah, interestingly poised this race. We'll see what the weather's going to do. Could get a bit of rain in China. And it looks bone dry. So the countdown is on. We'll see what tyres the drivers from P11 down choose to go on. I expect to see a mixture of probably a lot of mediums, a few softs, and maybe a couple of hards as well. Everyone just gonna try and outdo each other on strategy, I'd imagine. So we will see how that plays out. In other news, my co-commentator Artie Chance has possibly gone back to sleep. That's just a hunch I have. So you're stuck with me, guys. For better or worse. We'll survive though, we'll get through. And hopefully this Grand Prix is as exciting as the first week. There was plenty of drama in Portugal. Lots of on-track battles, a few drivers putting it in the wall. I think did we have a safety car? Maybe. My console crashed, it all happened, so yeah, we'll see what happens tonight. Jakey Perez leading us away on the formation lap. Thank you for the feedback, Fortnite clips, very kind. Jakey Perez will be warming those tyres up and just maybe thinking a little bit about the start of the race. It's not a super long run down into turn 1, but it is a really interesting turn 1, of course. It's a long right-hander. It feels like it goes on forever, and then it goes into a tighter right-hander and then a left, and so it's quite technical, and it's possible to both mess it up and to gain positions depending on how you navigate it. So definitely keep an eye on that. So looking at the tyre strategy, there we go. A lot of people on hards. Most of the drivers P11 down are on hards. Only CM Goat and the Ferraris on mediums, and then only Asher and Hawker, the two McLarens, on softs. So that'll sort of be easy to remember that the two McLarens down there are on softs. Everyone else pretty much on hards, bar CM Goat. Very interesting indeed. I'll get this menu screen updated. Why is my game completely silent? That's concerning. Anyway. There we go, put some audio back, that's nice. So we've got Nozza said in the chat saying that he's having internet issues and he's stuck on the grid. Oh, that's not ideal. What's the game going to do? Is he being DQ'd and put on the grid? Oh dear. Not looking good for that Alpha driver. It's looking a lot better for his teammate in P3. Keep an eye on Clarence. He looks quick around here as the cars line up on the grid. Tensions rise. The heat rises from the cars, from the drivers within them. Heart rates increase as the... Oh goodness, there's an Alpha facing the wrong way. That's... Oh dear. I've seen many things, but that's a new one. Wow, okay. So Nos is having issues. We'll try not to get too distracted by what he's up to as we wait for the lights to go out and this race to begin. Jakey Perez on pole, eyeing up turn 1. Just in your own time, race director. What's going on? Is the lobby tripping out? That is the question. I have a suspicion that the lobby is having an aneurysm. I don't think it knows how to deal with Nozza facing the wrong way. Oh dear. Oh dear indeed. Well, okay. So potentially a bit of a false start here. Well, well, well. Codemasters and EA joining forces here to possibly along with Noz's internet. Let's be honest. I don't think it was a two-man act entirely, but yep. And oh goodness, okay, what is happening? Are we racing or are we back to the lobby or what's going on? I have absolutely no idea. Well, it's not often a dull spectacle when Codemasters and EA Sports band together for the F1 games. I mean, typically it's been Codemasters, of course. EA have only just got into the mix, but yeah, not a super reliable combo. Throw in some internet issues from various people, and this is what you get. You get the black screen of death. Oh, here we go. Migrating host. What is? Oh goodness. Okay. I'm no expert, but that is not looking like a race that has panned out in the way that it was meant to, from a functional point of view. So we will have to have a restart. It looks like everyone's leaving the lobby, so that's a shame. Nozza got up to P3 in that race, so that's something to cling on to. Bit of a... Ooh, as he loses part of his wing. I spoke too soon. Alright guys, do apologise for that. We will be back for the renewed lobby, so we'll skip quali and be back on the grid, I assume, in probably about 5 minutes time. So yeah, I'm going to chuck myself on mute and try to make sense of what to do here, and hopefully we will be back on this stream link in about 5 minutes time. See you shortly.